So you guys are playing characters that have been previously played before. So I wanted to ask you all, did you have a moment while shooting the movie where you felt truly ownership of the role, that you felt like it clicked and you were playing that character? So for each of you.
You know, I felt like because the timeline reset, I felt like we could kind of do what we wanted. Well, this is in my opinion. I thought that I didn't have to worry too much about what Ben Foster had done. But I mean, I think he's a great actor and I respect the work that he did. But I think the fact that in the last movie the timeline is reset made it more, gave us some more freedom in that respect.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of freedom for all of us to come in and play these characters and portray someone who has been played by different actors in the past, but it's very much I'd say it's a different character, but it's not. It's just a different version of it, a different take on the character.
Yeah.
Because it's, years and years before we've ever seen them. So you see them kind of in the beginning of their arc in the X-Men universe.
Yeah, but don't get us wrong. Like, it is nerve-wracking to play, to be following up after such amazing actors. But at the same time, we can either allow that to destroy us or inspire us. And so for me, I was just like, I want Storm I want people to look at my Storm and be like, and then, and then it becomes that. Got it. I want people to get it.
What's interesting with your character in particular, and I want your take on that, is the fact that it's sort of her moral compass is sort of tied to her circumstances. It's like she could go one way or go the other, but it's kind of, so did you find that it's something you discussed with Brian, or should we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, with Storm, I don't think that she is a bad guy. I don't think that she ever wanted to be a bad guy. I think that she is just a product of her own circumstances, and she doesn't know what a bad guy is. What the experience that she's had with other fellow mutants is either they're captured and tortured or taken advantage of, or they work for the bad guys and they protect the drug lords or whatever, So when Apocalypse comes along, he's showing her a completely new thing, and she doesn't know about Professor X. She doesn't know about the X-Men. She knows about Mystique because all of that jazz just happened a couple years prior, but she doesn't know jack about any of it, basically. And she is just trying to do right. And at the moment, Apocalypse looks pretty right.
So I know you guys probably had your X-Men, training in terms of research of the comics and the universe and the movies. But what about being in the 80s? Is there some things had to be explained to you guys, or
a lot of things?
So talk to me about that.
Yeah, but I think what Brian does so well is he wanted the 80s to have such influence on the film, and it does. I feel like, I don't know, I was never in the 80s.
You don't have to tell me.
But yeah, sorry, pal. I think he actually modeled. There's a sequence that doesn't quite make it to the edit of the film, but it was this whole montage 80s sequence where we go to the mall and we go to the record store and we go to the arcade. But he modeled this arcade in the film after this arcade that he used to play at in the 80s as a kid.
Nice. How about, I was talking to Olivia, and she's somebody who was a fan of the character. And I know you have that in common with her, the fact that you really put yourself out there to sort of, how was it sort of, once you got the role, being sort of the protector of something you sort of cherish so much?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I respect the character so much, and I respect what James Marsden did with the role. And so I think all of us have this in common. We look up to the people who played the role previously, and just hope that we don't let the fans down. Or I actually reached out to James Marsden because I heard he said something really nice about me in an interview. They asked him what he thought about the new cast of the X-Men, and he said, "Oh, I think they're all great." And so I wrote him a letter and sent it to him.
You handwrote it?
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's super
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and then because we had a mutual connection anyway, and he responded within hours,
Nice.
of getting this letter, and then we started just talking and keeping in touch with each other, and I would update him on going to get my face casted for my glasses, and he'd say, "Yeah, well, that's one of the stranger things that you'll do for this role," but anyway, yeah,
That's awesome.
It's nice to that was really comforting to hear his positive reaction to the new cast of X-Men. And so but even then, everyone welcomed us with such open arms, and the team, I think the X-Men team is we all love each other so much and respect each other. So
everyone except for Rose. Rose is such a bully. She's just such a bully.
Elaborate. I know they're gonna kill me, but anyway, I know you're kidding. Anyway, that was my last question. So pleasure talking to you guys. I'm like, get the scoop.